Welcome back. YCN Sports Talk. Jeremy Stout, Dave Collins, and we will flip over to the National League now, Dave. And quick preview of tonight's game, Wednesday night. Noah Syndergaard at home against the October legend, Madison Bumgarner. Really, for our time, he basically is when you get down to it. Can he do it again tonight on the road?
I'm going to say Mets. Simply because you got Syndergaard there, and they're the home team, and the Giants have had to travel cross-country to take on the Mets, and it's just one game. If it was a three-game series for the play-in, I'd lean towards the Giants, but right now I think the Mets have finally stabilized what's going to happen in their pitching rotation. I really like Syndergaard tonight, and the Mets are the home team.
Right, I got to agree with you there. I think the Mets being at home, let's not forget Syndergaard. Yeah, he's had some struggles a little bit, but he's a good pitcher. You're right. If it was a Mets team, I don't know what's going to happen in the next round. We'll get into that. But you're right. It's one game. I think they can neutralize Bumgarner and get a couple runs across, and that could be enough. So I go with the Mets as well. Let's get into the other series that we know is already set, Dodgers and Nationals. That's going to be a heck of a series, I think. You got Kershaw and Scherzer going in Game 1 on Friday. I believe it is Game 1. So where does that – is that just a toss-up, another one like that American League series?
I think so, too. And I think the Dodgers sort of put things in cruise control for the last week of the season as well, going up to San Francisco. I still like L.A. Just going in. It's different because they're coming from the West Coast, and I don't think they have the same issues as the Giants do. I think the Dodgers are a little bit more of a stable team.
Okay, and when you talk about the Dodgers, the first thing you lead off with is Kershaw's pitching. Yep. Can he really, I think that's going to be the key. What do you see from him in Game 1? If he loses in Game 1 to Scherzer, but he pitches 7-8 innings, gives up a couple runs, does that give him some confidence? Because he's had some bad luck and some bad starts in the playoffs, so maybe that can give him some confidence for his next turn?
Yeah, and you know what we didn't take into account? We talked about this last week. What's the weather going to be like? Especially on the East Coast, we've got the hurricane, and we're taping this on a Wednesday afternoon, so the hurricane may be in, Spain by now. But still, you get the rainfall, you get a rainout. I think that's what most of these teams, they say they don't want it, but if their pitcher has to go 7 or 8 innings after Game 1 or Game 2, they want that rainout, so that way it can be all hands on deck for the 5th game if it goes to that.
Okay, so I'm
not playing meteorologist, by the way.
Right. I'm going to go against you there. I'm going to pick the Nationals, but once again, I think it's a toss-up. I don't really feel confident in that pick. It's more of a, hey, I'll go against you. I got Max Scherzer and Clayton Kershaw. Maybe Scherzer can get Game 1 at home, but by no means I think this goes 5 also.
I think so as well. I think we're going to have good series. I think we're going to have distances, 4 or 5 games in all of these.
Okay, now what about the next series? That gives us a chance to segue into the next series, which is the winner of tonight's game versus the Cubs. Is this a foregone conclusion that the Cubs make it at least to the NLCS, or is it a letdown if they don't make the World Series? We won't crown them yet, but
I think it's a letdown, and I think Joe Madden will be even more furious than anybody else there because he's had his chances in Tampa Bay. You remember that in the late 2000s, going up against the Phillies. He has sort of resurrected the Cubs. Not that they were a putrid team in the 2000s, but he's given them the spark, and he's got Theo Epstein there as well. It's got the perfect dynamics to see the Cubs roll through this, but if they don't, there'll be a price to pay somewhere in that organization out in Chicago.
And I think they can get to the NLCS. I think they do. I don't want to say steamroll through the winner of tonight, but when you have Arrieta, Lester, Kyle Hendricks, Dartmouth grad from this area,
local product.
Those are 3 solid players. And then John Lackey, what he's done in the postseason is nothing to be laughed at. So I'm going to say the Cubs, they get to the NLCS.
Okay.
And they're playing the Nationals. And I do think it is somewhat of a disappointment if the Cubs don't make it. I picked the Cubs to make it. And I think it will be disappointing if they don't make it to the World Series.
I put the Cubs over the Dodgers 4-2 for the National League Championship Series.
Okay, so now we're here at the World Series. You said Francona gets there. You've got the Cubs. One of those teams is going to end a big drought.
One of those cities is going to have a parade that's going to last for 5 days.
One of those cities is going to be really happy.
Yeah.
Who you got?
I'm going to say Cleveland.
Right.
I think they've sort of been off the radar for most of the season.
Yes.
You've heard about them. You've heard about Francona. You've heard about some of their players. The Cubs have everything to play for with one of the better records in the major leagues. They've got Joe Madden. They've got Theo Epstein. I think the Cleveland Indians can surprise a few people and come out with a World Series. I like the Indians Oh, you're going to make me picky. I'm going to say 6 or 7.
Okay.
Let's wait till next week and see if they're both in there, you know?
Exactly. And I'm going to go, before we wrap this segment up, I'm going to take the Red Sox.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a homer pick, but I don't think they're that big of an underdog. They are probably the second best team, or third best team. Cubs are definitely the favorite. But I'm going to go with the Red Sox. Cubs have slowed down the second half, so just be careful.
Well,
you can
in the
I know
MLB
you didn't, but
in the MLB postseason, you can always be surprised by a no-name guy coming through with a clutch hit or a clutch home run to win a game, and whose bullpen is going to implode.
Exactly. So anything can happen.
Could have been last night. It was last night, basically, with Baltimore, even though they didn't have their best pitcher on the mound at the end of the game.
Anything can happen in a short series or a long series. We'll take a break. We'll come right back, get to the gridiron, a lot of football to get to. You're watching YCN Sports Talk.